Brandon Dollaway. Azorius Control. Micah, Lupa. It's a fun name. Micah Lupa. Storm. Both these players 5-1. Round number 7 about to be underway here. I would ban nothing. I don't like banning things. Might get rid of Ironworks, though. Card's lame.
Here we go.
That card's lame. Oh, Visions.
Ancestral
Nice.
Vision on the play off a basic island. You cannot draw it up any better than this. Let's see if Dollaway dies with it still on suspend.
I'm going to call that a lock. Place your bets at home. Does the Visions resolve? Does the Visions actually
Only 3 more turns.
Does the Visions get to come off a suspend, I guess? Because there are 2 remands in Micah's deck.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Just in one turn, Electromancer, remand your Vision.
There we go. Put you to the test right now.
2 more turns. So close.
We're getting there.
You can almost taste it.
Dollaway is someone who's played Storm for a while, so I'd kill that thing. All right, we're gonna start here.
Only 2 more turns. Come on, Brandon, you can get there.
Top and bottom there for Serum Visions on the scry. Smart. That's good. That's good. That's important. Field of Ruin.
Shields are down. Nothing to play around
They're
here.
So down.
Lupa can easily win from this spot. A cost reducer and cards. And then you're done.
Cost reducer, Manamorphose. All right, we're all set. Let's go.
Having Visions on the play and dying with it still on suspend, a little embarrassing. Visions on the play and dying with it with 2 counters on it.
More embarrassing.
That's not great.
Micah Lupa knows what he's looking for here. He's going to play Electromancer past the turn.
His hand is very land heavy.
It is. Let's go back over to Dollaway. Vision's down to 1. Will he do it? Snapcaster Mage on Path to Exile. All right. Play a Hollow Fountain tap, pass the turn back.
Although Lupa has enough mana to work with here, just off the land, so the reducer isn't essential for him going off in the spot. I believe his hand's very land heavy, which is why he wasn't able to do anything last turn. So he still might be short of being able to do anything of note. But even without the cost reducers, mana shouldn't be a bottleneck here.
Micah will draw, picked up a copy of Desperate Ritual. Play a Skull and turn, pass the turn back. Da, 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 da.
That is a good feeling. Got the Vision.
In for 2 as well. That's impressive. Can't lose now. Not if we resolve Ancestral Vision.
I would, yeah. This spot had better be good for Dollaway.
Should be game over.
Negate in hand.
It's a good card against Storm. An island. Wow, Micah Lupa is flooded. What do we have here? Going to go after a red source with the Field of Ruin. Fix up Dollaway's mana mostly. Oh, it looks like, okay, I was going to say, Lupa have no land to search for? Uh-oh.
He drew a lot of lands. Already has 2 islands on the battlefield. I believe he has a mountain in hand.
2 islands, 1 mountain, 1 snow-covered mountain? Uh-oh.
Yeah, it's just drew a lot of lands.
Land destruction. Dollaway going to come in for 2. Pass the turn back. Let's go back over to Micah Lupa. He'll play a mountain, pass the turn back. Field of Ruin, another red source. In response, gifts. No. Remand your negate. Curious if he's supposed to remand the negate or
I was
remand
going
the
to
gifts.
say, but depending on exactly what his hand's like, I think there's an argument there for just remanding the gifts because going off through the negate the next turn is not easy.
Seems tough. Seems tough. We'll see.
And I like this Gifts decision here from Dollaway. You're not going to be able to cut Lupa off mana in a meaningful way, so you got to cut him off of his card drawing and ability to go off. So give him the 2 rituals, leave him with Past in Flames. Or excuse me, take the 2 rituals, put Past in Flames in the graveyard, get rid of the Manamorphose.
Opting. Put it at the bottom with the scry, and now draw a new card. Draw for turn will Brandon Dollaway. Number 18 on our SCG Tour leaderboard. Going to come across here for 2 more. With the Snapcaster Mage and now Celestial Colonnade. Let's draw. And there's a sleight of hand. That'll resolve. Serum Vision's among those cards. Lupa has found what card he wants. Now he'll play a Serum Visions. He'll draw. He'll scry not once but twice. Both those cards will stay on top. Micah Lupa building towards something.
Well, the play here is to just sort of jam up Dollaway's reactive cards. Don't cast anything meaningful until you're ready to cast multiple meaningful things in one turn. So he doesn't have enough mana and cards to break up everything.
There's an attack for 2. And back to Micah. He's got some life to work with. Not the fastest of clocks here from Dollaway. Steam Fence untapped. Lupa's going to fall down 8.
And he's asking for some dice. He played a dual land untapped. I think we're going to see him go for it here.
Well, we will find out if Micah can do it or not. He'll start with a Pyretic Ritual. Storm count of 1. That will resolve 3 red in the pool. Remember, Dollaway is a fairly experienced Storm player, so he's been on the other side of this before. And that would lead you to believe that he knows how to play this side of it from the Azorius side. Doing a little bit of counting here is Micah Lupa. Now it's a Desperate Ritual. That'll resolve. Up to 4 red. No cost reducer on the battlefield to do any of this, of course. He's got plenty of lands. As now here's another Desperate Ritual. Didn't splice that one. Maybe a little afraid of the negate. Up to 5. Past in Flames. 1 red floating. Storm count of 4.
So now Dollaway needs to have a lot of counter spells. Now with a second copy of Past in Flames in the graveyard he's got to play through.
That negate is spell 5, by the way. Can Lupa beat the negate that he knew about? This shouldn't come as much of a surprise.
No. He's already cast a lot of rituals, too.
Mm-hmm.
So you'd have to imagine he's somewhat committed. He knew about the negate, and he's cast a bunch of rituals. You have to believe he's somewhat committed to trying to push through a fair bit this turn.
Manamorphose. No mana floating. Spell 6. Dollaway will play Spell Snare. That spell 7 is the Spell Snare. Now it looks like Lupa doesn't have many cards in hand. And he'll just have to pass the turn back. So, no good for our Storm players. We go back over to Brandon Dollaway. In for 2. Dollaway's turn, much simpler than Micah Lupa's. He'll just attack with Snapcaster Mage, pass the turn back, get ready to maybe attack for the win next turn. As now here's Past in Flames from the graveyard. Cryptic Command says, nah. I don't think so. Grape Shot, 1 and 1. Snapcaster Mage, dead. Let's go back to Dollaway. He's got colonnades on the battlefield. Does he dare activate one and tap so low? Looks like he just drew a Snapcaster Mage. A very favorable position here for Dollaway, so be surprised if he put the old shields down here.
Yeah, I mean, you would want to just kind of hold up the shields. You want to hold up the shields and be able to Snapcaster, end of turn, untap, and kill in one hit. I think he's got to do everything on the Snapcaster Mage to play around a counterspell because he knows he's facing lethal.
Dollaway thinking things through here. Examining all the zones. Alright, so here's Logic Knot to try to counter the other Past in Flames. And Mike Lupa realizes that I can't win without my Past in Flames, and he will concede the game. So Brandon Dollaway is going to win game number 1 here over Micah Lupa. Azorius Control very quickly up a game here over Storm as we turn our attention to both players' sideboards. We're going to start with Micah Lupa, who's got 2 Abrades, 2 Ancestral Visions of his own. Hello! Ancestral Vision mirror match. 2 Blood Moons, 2 Dispels, 2 Empty the Warrens, 2 Lightning Bolts, a Dismember, a Flame Slash, and a Shattering Spree.
I like the Empty the Warrens in this matchup and the Dispels and the Ancestral Vision. So 6 good ones to bring in.
For Brandon Dollaway, 2 Ceremonious Rejection, 2 Dispels, 2 Rest in Peace, 2 Timely Reinforcements, a Celestial Purge, a Detention Sphere, Lyra Dawnbringer, Negate, Proffery Nodes, Surgical Extraction, and a real good one there in Vendilion Click.
Vendilion Click, Surgical Extraction, Negate, Detention Sphere, and the 2 Dispels, 2 Rest in Peace. 8 good ones to bring in.
Well, those are the options there for both players. And game number 2 about to be underway here in just a moment. But we're going to take a short break here to hear from our wonderful friends over at Ultimate Guard, in which they have a new product coming out here. Some very fancy, schmancy sleeves that we think you're going to like. Those will be available in February. Sorry I didn't get you any for the Grand Prix. Held out on you.
Held out on me.
Yeah. And myself.
Not the first time, won't be the last.
That's true. That is just true. I'm glad you are cognizant of that.
Yeah, it's okay.
That's good.
Okay.
You know me too well.
I'm still up the sleeves in the deck box, so it's not, you know, I got no issue.
That's true. And you got the pick of the litter in the rares, apparently.
Well, we dealt them out. No, it's actually
because you shuffled them.
Yeah, and I had to cut to prevent any accusations.
I don't remember
shadiness.
that. What'd you walk away with?
2 duels and a Ral.
Oh, you got the Ral? Come on.
Apparently the draw 3 or deal 4 is worth more.
Risk factor? Really?
According to SCG, I looked. Risk factor was sold out at $11.
It's $11?
And Ral was not sold out at $10.
Wow, I didn't know many people were playing Risk Factor.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about that. Hey, you could put it in Dredge. Risk Factor. You can put Ral in Dredge, too. You can put anything in Dredge. Because you can put anything in any deck.
Smelled out.
That's right. That's the thing about that.
Oh, you're playing Gemstone Mines, and the draw power puts cards in the graveyard. That's why not. So.
Broke it.
Yeah.
Ral, Zarek, Viceroy, Dredge.
So I got a Ral and 2 duels. Benny got the Risk Factor.
He deserved it.
You got a duel.
Yeah, I got a Water Grave, maybe?
Sacred Foundry.
Yeah, that's right. I played that, too.
Yeah.
That was me.
I got the Steam Vents, played by Benny.
Yep.
And the Overgrown Tomb, played by no one. Because we did not play
right where it belongs.
Had no green cards.
Right where it belongs. Right in the sideboard of probably your deck, because we gave you all the sideboard cards.
An unplayed Overgrown Tomb to go along with 9 unplayed Golgari Guildgates.
I like how everything broke great. I got to play Boros both times. You got to play Dimir both times.
Penny was this both times. It was perfect.
Just the decks that we would want to play if we could choose.
It was so good.
If at some point we were like, hey, do you want to play like this deck and play that deck? I'm like, I don't want to play anymore then. If we have to have that conversation, I just don't want to play anymore.
No.
Because I was incapable of playing any other deck that weekend.
Yeah. Notion Reigns and Ravenous Rat.
Burglar Rat.
Burglar Rat.
I'm here.
I will take the draw, and I'll Burglar Rat you on 2 and Notion Rain you on 3. And in my head, the advantage bar is breaking through the screen. I'm like, I'm 100%. You don't know this. I'm 100% to win this game from here. I'm up so much stuff.
Turn 2 Rat, turn 3 Rain. Done.
Yeah, we're done.
Game's over. That's how you play the format.
Or Dimir Locket deadweight your play. Either one of those.
Ugh.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. It's a whole weekend of that. I'm so happy.
14 rounds. I wish there was a 15th round of that. Serum Visions to start here for Micah Lupa.
I'll take the draw. I'm going to draw first. Burglar Rat. I came out in 1998 with my limited play, and it has not been updated.
No.
And it's been fine.
It doesn't need to be.
It does not need to be updated.
That Jumpstart stuff, that's for the new age.
Yeah.
I don't know how any of that stuff works.
I didn't have to find out because I just bugler ratted them and they never had anything.
I like calling it Bugler Rats.
They never had.
It's the rat with a horn.
They never had the cards to jumpstart anything, so I wouldn't know. And if they had the shock in their deck, then I just took out the House Guildmage, the only thing they could kill with it. My deck was nothing but 2 3s and rats. So I never found out. And in both of the decks, I had the 3-1 that entered the battlefield and nuke a card out of the graveyard, the rare.
The blood output.
So that came up too. Where I just would rat them and then would just hang out beating down with rats for a little bit. And then when it looked like they were close to jump starting something, just 3-1'd it.
Mm-hmm. That's got to go now. We have our first Ancestral Vision on suspend in game 2 here from Brandon Dollaway on turn 2. Dollaway could die right now. Kill him, Micah.
Yep, here we go.
Kill him. This is your one shot. What if you had one opportunity?
It's rough I'm betting that it's rough for Lupa if Dollaway gets untapped.
Kill him. Steam Fence untapped. I like where we're going.
Yeah, good sign. Good sign. the Bugler Rat.
Brawl. It's over.
Ding, 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 ding.
It's
ding,
over.
Ding.
Manamorphose. It's over.
Well, it may not be. If the payout here is Empty the Warrens, then Dollaway has access to, sideboarded Detention Sphere. But if it's just the full combo, then obviously there's nothing to be done. Drew a land.
Desperate Ritual Empty the One. It's okay.
Okay. This is
it's not over.
Imminently beatable.
How many of those are going to be exiled? 8? I would play Detention Sphere or Terminus.
Like those lines.
Yeah. Expert advice from a former expert. Otherwise, you would lose. Opt.
Surprising not to do this on Lupa's turn.
That leads me to believe Terminus is no longer in the deck. If that's happening.
Ooh, yeah.
Otherwise, that is weird. Getcha. Attack you for 9. Dollaway's down to 11. Visions off suspend. Draw. Not a Terminus. Lands. I smell a cryptic command tapping the team. There it is. My nose still works. Those are tapped.
No sideboarded Dispel there for Lupa.
Mm-mm. Let's go back over to Dollaway now. Visions down to 1. We might have Visions resolve in 2 straight games.
Now that's a bingo space.
It should be. Serum Visions. Scry 2. 1. 1. Opting. Yeah, Terminus just can't be in his deck.
Yeah, if he's doing this stuff.
That'll work. Maybe. See if it resolves. Sends your explosives. Hollow Fountain is a battlefield tapped. Dollaway will use it now. Pass turn back. Lupa will draw.
Drawing a bunch of rituals, so he's got, I mean, he's still got payoffs in the deck for sure.
Metamorphose is where Micah will start.
Grape Shot or Passive Flames. I think he may have found a Gifts.
He just drew a Gifts.
I suspect that'll get him to a kill this turn. With the amount of mana he has available.
Desperate Ritual. 3 red, 1 blue. Losing some mana to play a Gifts. 1 red floating, spell 3. I think Dollaway knows that he's dead. Somebody says, go ahead and do your thing.
Yep. Ritual, Metamorphose, Pass and Flames, I'm guessing. You may need to get Grape Shot in the mix here.
We're done.
Yeah. Don't need to do it because you can just go get the gifts and when you pass and flames and then you get the Grape Shot that way. And Dollaway knows it. Ancestral Vision will have to wait for another day.
Well, Micah Lupa going to tie things up here against Brandon Dollaway. Storm and Azorius Control getting ready here for a third and final one. Not sure too much changes here playing the draw for either player, though Dollaway does have some nice options that you can go towards. Those Rest in Pieces, of course, are going to be really good on the play. Slide those under Counter Magic. And, yeah, he definitely wants the Dispels, too, so he's got some good options.
Yeah, all the same stuff I think they would have brought in before would still be available.
All right, well, these players are going to shuffle up. Good conversation between the two of them, you can tell. Some good sportsmanship there. Get ready here for game number 3. While they do that, we are going to bring another commercial here from our friends at Ultimate Guard. This time, we got a cool backpack that fits all your stuff. That fits all your stuff. Also available in February. That thing is nice. That thing, the Ammonite Anti-Theft Backpack, it is nice. I'm gonna have one of those soon, I hope.
I mean, if anyone can get hooked up,
Get you one.
we'd hope it'd be you.
Yeah. Serum Vision's the start here for Brandon Dollaway. See how he wants to scry. One on top, one on the bottom. Let's go back over to Micah Lupa. Steam Vents untapped. The follow-up is Serum Visions. Both players going to start with a little draw card and scry 2.
I'd love to see some of these sideboarded Ancestral Vision from Lupa. I've not seen that in Storm before. And it's cool because they kind of have to fight over it, and it's a win for you if they're just spending mana that way.
Gotcha.
Even if it doesn't resolve, it's just a thing that allows you to set up one big turn, and it's really dangerous for them to just let that resolve and try to play through it because you can play through counter spells if your hand's redundant enough.
Let's go back over to Dollaway. He's done a little bit of opting there on Lupa's end step. Get some cards into the graveyard here. Spire Bluff Canal is the land. Pass the turn back. Looks like Lupa's a little bit more reactive now. Here's a Snapcaster Mage into an opt.
Surprisingly, he's brought in the Lightning Bolts.
Yeah, I was a little surprised by that too. Opt is going to put the top card to the bottom now. Dollaway will draw. We'll head back over to Brandon Dollaway. In for 2. An island. And there's Rest in Peace. That'll resolve. Okay. Lupa will sacrifice the Misty Rainforest. That'll be exiled, of course, now thanks to the powerful enchantment. And a Steam Vents will enter the battlefield tapped. We'll be heading back over to Micah Lupa in just a moment for his 4th turn of the game.
Rest in Peace combos so well with the counter spells in Azoria's control here. Once the graveyard is shut off, they really struggle to just play through a counter spell, because a lot of the way that you play around a counter spell is by having Past in Flames and being able to go through multiple cycles in the same turn.
Manamorphose. All right. Land. Empty. Okay, so just 4 1/1s? Okay. Better than no 1/1s, I suppose. I think Dollaway can beat this pretty easily, though. I'd like to imagine he can. As he'll play a Field of Ruin and pass the turn back. Vision's down to 1.
So I think Lupa's at least trying to get Dollaway to just commit some mana at some point in time. Whether it's tapping out to sweep away these tokens, whether it's fighting over the Ancestral Vision, whatever the case may be.
A Field of Ruin's going to take care of Steam Vents. Looks like Lupa's going to float some mana here. Okay.
So we'll see next turn what happens when this Ancestral Vision comes off suspend. If Dollaway plays through it, or if he's willing to risk using a counterspell on it.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. Dollaway will draw. Here's Gifts on the end step.
More attempts to overwhelm the mana here. You're
Yep.
You're resolving Gifts. You have an Ancestral coming off. I like Lupa's timing here of trying to get basically all in one wave to power through the counters or force Dollaway to risk something by tapping out.
Looks like it's going to be a Serum Visions, a Manamorphose, a Sleight of Hand, and an Opt.
Yep, just more fuel.
Looking to sculpt the perfect hand is Micah Lupa.
He's not in much of a rush now without the graveyard, because it cuts off his lines to really fast combo kills through one counterspell.
Sleight of Hand and Manamorphose. We'll go to the hand now. Ancestral Visions is looking to resolve. And this will be a negate. Dispel will take care of the negate, or at least negate it, at least attempt to. Here's Cryptic Command. Another Dispel. Going to need blue mana for that Dispel, not the red one, so we'll fix that. Pretty easy fix. There you go.
And now Dollaway's added a lot to the storm count this turn as well. Could see just a win through Grape Shot, just casting a bunch of spells this turn.
It might not be that tough.
I mean, we're up to storm count of 5. The attack gets Dollaway down to 13. We know that Lupa has a Lightning Bolt in hand.
True.
It would not surprise me here if Lupa just has the kill rolled up. Sideboarded Dispels plus Ancestral Vision doing great work here for Lupa.
I'm going to start things off with maybe a Sleight of Hand. It's going to be a Serum Visions instead. Either way, it's a cantrip at spell number 6. Lupa will draw. Now he'll scry 2. Gifts ungiven among those cards. Not sure if that's what he's interested in right now or not, though. All right, gonna attack with the goblins. Any follow-up? No, not able to use the storm count to his advantage. As Dollaway He does get to untap, draw, play a land, and simply pass a turn back. Here comes 3 more. Dollaway's going to fall down to 10. Having some trouble with these 1/1s right now is Brandon, as Lupa's going to play a Spiral of Canal that enters the battlefield tapped.
Full hand.
Here's Cryptic Command. Bounce a token, draw a card. That's not the easiest way to do it, but it's a way to get it done. Dollaway will draw. Now he'll draw again after untapping those lands. And that's an Ancestral Vision on suspend. Play a Flooded Strand. Pass the turn back. Over to Micah Lupa. Sleight of hand to start. Grape Shot among those cards. I think that's what he was looking for.
Yep. Grape Shot gets him to the finish line here pretty easily, I think.
There's an attack for 2.
He's got Remand backup also.
Mm-hmm. Spell Snare is going to take care of the Pyretic Ritual. And if we're doing a spell count here, things get a little scary if you're Brandon Dollaway. How about a Manamorphose? All right. Draw a card. It looks like it may have been Baral. Here's a sleight of hand. Just 1 red mana floating. Found the card that he's happy with.
I mean, Bolt plus Grape Shot here is lethal. Doesn't even have to commit the Bolt necessarily. He can use the cantrips to add.
Bolt ya. Grape Shot ya. That's going to do it. Micah Lupa's going to win this match over Brandon Dollaway 2-1. Storm going to take care of Azorius Control. And for Micah Lupa, he's going to move up to 6-1. Brandon Dollaway, normally a Storm fan and a Storm player, decided not to play it and is going down to 5-2.
I really liked the sideboard plan that Micah had there that I haven't seen before from Storm players. You see pieces of the puzzle a lot. That's a pretty common one.
Yes.
An issue that comes up is you cast it and you say go. And sometimes it's good and sometimes it's not, but your opponent's usually in the clear about, I can fight this and know that there's not going to be any fighting back. Mm-hmm. And if it resolves, they can't combo out this turn. Compare that to the Dispels plus Ancestral Vision, where what happened was Micah was able to set a spot of go, 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 your turn, your turn, your turn, not casting anything. Now, end of your turn gifts, untap Ancestral, and you have to fight over all this at the same time, and I have these spells to fight these battles. It's adding the storm count, and it's overwhelming your mana. So even if you're sitting on a bunch of counter spells, you don't have enough mana to cast everything, as opposed to these sideboard cards like Pieces that are a little bit more iterative. Like, you cast it, and I can go negate, now go to my turn, or do nothing and hold on to my negate.
Yep.
But the setup that Micah had there just overwhelmed Dollaway all in one orbit, where he didn't have enough mana to fight over everything. And the Dispels were so efficient in fighting those battles. Really great sideboard. Counter spells backed up by Rest in Peace, typically good enough against Storm, but that sideboard plan for Micah just overwhelmed it so easily.
We got another match here for you. Let's head on down to the feature match area, see what we got. Get some deck lists in front of us, too. Dylan Han, Jackson Day. I got Humans. I got Mono Green Tron. We watched Dylan beat this already once today. Can he do it again? Looks like Dylan's got a pretty good battlefield here with a Manus Rider, Noble Hierarch, a Phantasmal Image copying something. It looks like it may have been copying a Freebooter. And a Vial that looks like it may have just been cast. For Jackson Day, I got a Warping Whale, a Walking Ballista in the graveyard. But I'm also taking a look at a Towers, plural, along with a Mine and a Power Plant. So access to at least 10 mana. I'm just curious to see what he's going to do with it.
Well, if the light totals are accurate here, there's not a whole lot of game left to be played. We'll find it. Things will be clarified momentarily.
Yes, they will. Looks like Dylan might just be passing the turn back, so Jackson going to be drawing a card. It needs to be a good one, apparently, with how he drew it. So we're going to see if this is good or not.
With Day at 2, Worm Coil, any sort of ground pounder, that's not good enough.
O-Stone's plenty fine. It's going to float 3, Ghost Quarter his own land, get a Forest. Play a Thragtusk. Okay. up to 7. Dylan going to rub his hands together. He needs to draw a good one.
I mean, no, he doesn't. His position's still good. You'd like to close out this turn.
Of course.
But if Day's empty-handed, then, you know, he's got one rip at it next turn. Could be bad for sure.
It could be horrible. Ugin and
Oblivion Stone, both
those are game winners.
They're both, yes.
Dylan can only pass the turn back. It's not a fun feeling. It's not a fun feeling. What? Oh, the redraw?
Well, no, because he's on exactly 8 mana.
Yep, so Ugin's... Oh, actually, they're both off.
Yeah,
now.
yeah. That's not bad for hand.
Yeah. It's actually quite good for Dylan. Yeah, because I think he may have found Oblivion Stone, but he can't play and blow it up.
Yep, doesn't have enough mana, and any sort of ground defense is not good enough. Hand's got plenty of flyers.
Mm-hmm. How about Walking Ballista? That one doesn't do much of anything.
Too much in the air.
Yeah. I think Jackson Day is going to go through the iterations here and see, is there anything I can find that does anything? The answer is no. Dylan Hand going to win this game in match over Jackson Day. Humans going to take care of Mono Green Tron for a second time here for Dylan Hand. He moves on to 7-0. It's no surprise to see him winning again here with Humans. So many top 8s. Another one maybe on the way here in Dallas.
And at the minimum has lost